So this is the BA management feature of the StationOne platform. You can see we've already got some BA data present in the test system at the moment, but there's been a few changes to this, so we'll step through exactly how to use the platform. You can see effectively a BA set is a joining of multiple components. So a BA set is complete once it has a mask, a backplate and a cylinder. So we can see here that we've got an operational set that has a cylinder, mask and backplate, which have all been matched together. Then we've got some cylinders in or some BA sets rather, in a detached state. So they're missing a mask and a cylinder and backplates and various other bits and pieces. We can also explore all of our components independently as well. So we can see our cylinders, we can see our pressure, hydro due dates, we can see the set association and the location of those, and any status updates as well that apply to that particular cylinder. Likewise for masks and backplates as well. Pretty standard stuff that's appearing there. There's a couple of different ways to make a BA set and the associated components. The easiest way is to use the BA set wizard. So if we go to our new BA set, you can see we've got our add new, or we've got from existing components. So we can create a whole new BA set here effectively. So this just steps you through the process of adding all of the necessary components into the system. So the first part is basically we can do our backplate. You know, this might be 1, 2, 3, 4, serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. We can add any additional information in here if we want to, not overly necessary, only the required fields are obviously required. It's electronic backplate and we'll give it 100% battery. Then we can go on to our mask. So what it's done is it's already copied over the asset ID of that backplate into the mask, noting that they are typically coupled. And then obviously we can add some additional data here as well. Then we can go to our cylinder. So we've got a couple of options here. We can use an existing cylinder from within the system, or we can also add a new cylinder. So mostly for brigades that are starting to uptake the BA feature, you would be adding your cylinders into the system for the first time, you know, BRHM, 5712 or whatever, we'll just make that up. We can pop in our pressure and we'll put in our hydro date. So we'll say that this is going to be March 2028, for example. So then our BA set will adopt the same asset as the backplate and the mask. We can say it's a TIAB. We'll set that on TIAB tanker. Happy days, we'll create that. And there it goes through. So CFA 1, 2, 3, 4 is operational at TIAB, and we can see that all of the other data has been pre-filled. So that's now cascaded that through. So 5712 is the cylinder we created. Then we've got our mask, CFA 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on a set and a backplate as well. One change for those that have been using the BA feature already is that we've made some changes to the location and status. So you'll see that this section is now different. You can see this one here is away for repair at protective services. So we can return that to the brigade. We'll put that at spare at unit, we'll put that at TIAB and we'll update that. So we'll now see that that's gone spare at unit at TIAB, so that's all good. Likewise for backplates, we've also updated that location and status. So we can potentially send this away for repair, send that to protective equipment, and off we go. So now that has updated. Away for repair is its status, and if we come back here, we'll see that that's now gone into away for repair. As I said, this all cascades, so if we make a modification to a BA set, like we just sent that backplate away for repair, you can see that this is now flagged as incomplete, and that obviously tells you that this particular set is missing a component. So we can see that this BA set here is giving us a warning. It's electronic and it doesn't have a battery percentage on it there. One other thing we've just implemented is our cylinder swapping. So obviously the caveat here is that there needs to be a cache created in the system that has cylinders within it to be able to swap with. If you have that information, we're happy to pop all of that into the system. But effectively, we can do a direct swap straight from here. So we can basically pick a cylinder. So this one, 6 is spare at unit. We're going to chuck that into the Meriduc BA cache. So we'll move that to the cache. And now it will give us the opportunity to grab a cylinder out of that cache and bring that to our brigade. So we might grab cylinder 008 and we'll take that. So now you can see cylinder 008 is a spare at the unit, and we've not obviously done anything with that. The cylinders can also be swapped directly as well. So if we come in and edit the cylinder, we can move that into the cache, and we can move that into the Meriduc BA cache. And again, we'll get that option to grab, so we can grab 6 back. We'll take that as spare. So you'll see now cylinder 6 is here, spare at unit, cylinder 8's gone. So that swap process backwards and forwards is functional. And as I said, this is now updating your BA set configuration in real time. As changes are happening, they're cascaded down to that BA set and across any other equipment that might need to be modified in the BA realm. You can see with BA set 1 currently has no components. So as I said, we can go in and manually rejoin all of these components through the BA management interface. The other way to rejoin all of these components is simply via an inspection of type BA set. So you can either have BA set component questions as a part of a regular vehicle inspection, or you can do a dedicated BA set inspection. So in the demo here, we've got the BA set quick check. So if we jump into here and punch in a name and start inspection, we'll see our sets are returned. As we saw in the admin interface, BA set 1 does not have any components currently associated to it. So we'll inspect that and we'll rebuild that by virtue of completing this inspection. So we'll set that in locker on the vehicle. We'll grab a cylinder. So we've got 001 here as spare. So we'll pop that on there. 280 bar is all good. We'll grab our mask 001, which is spare, and we'll grab our our BA backplate, which is currently spare with 100% battery. So there's all of our components spare at unit. We'll pass the visual inspection, punch in a comment, all good. So now the system says, because we're doing BA checks, we can basically keep rolling through each BA set. No, we're done. So we'll view the completed inspection, which is all good. Now, if we come back here, refresh the page, you can see BA set 1 now has all of the associated components. We'll also be able to see that by virtue of our inspection history, depending on what current date it is. So we've got one in progress, it would be this one here. So we can then view that inspection as well and have a look at all the data that was passed in by that member during their inspection, which you already know. The final part of the process is obviously our BA filling logs and functionality. Obviously this requires you to have a BA filling station within your area or that you can access. And we also need to create that in the StationOne platform because again, obviously we don't know where all those BA filling stations actually are. Some have already been provided and been added to the system, which is great. Relatively simple to fill a BA cylinder. New fill log, we look for the cylinder's ID, so we can just basically start typing in and looking for a match. So we'll grab cylinder 4, Meriduc BA filling station today. We'll put that to 310 bar. Sarah filled that up and that's all good. So that's done. So then we can see our cylinder filling history coming back here with all of our fill logs. And then if we also go over to our cylinders, I can't remember which one, I think it was cylinder 4, we can see that fill log that's now appearing attached to that cylinder as well. Likewise, that pressure's increased on that cylinder 4 to 310 bar as per what we entered in there. And that's also replicated again across our BA set overview. So we can see cylinder 4 on BA set 2 is showing 310 bar. Obviously, again, through a BA set inspection, members can provide the cylinder pressure at that point in time, and that will also replicate against the cylinder and this BA set data for you to be able to reference. Likewise, if you have your BA module enabled for your public brigade page, members can also come into the BA equipment section, navigate down to the cylinders that are belonging to your brigade, and they can do a direct fill from here as well. So we can put in member's name, fill station time, we'll put that to 300, and that should update cylinder 2 there. So I'll push that through. We've seen that that pressure change has just happened in real time. And likewise, if we come over to our cylinder 2, we can see that that's now showing 300 bar, and we've got that fill log recorded here as well. So it does make that filling process available to members if that's some of the workflow that would work best for your brigade.